Logan Paul versus Jake Paul tonight. He's gonna be versing and goddamn, what the hell? Bad name trying to change his. Oh, bad name changes. Damn, bro, guys cannot change their names no more. Insane. Damn, bro. Logan Paul. No, it's Jake Paul. Paul versus what's the name? Mike Tyson. Who do you think is winning? For me, I think Jake Paul is winning. For sure. Put 100% on my money on him. I'm probably going to be betting the other way. Here's what it is. Why UFC fighters are one of the poorest athletes. UFC fighters are the poorest athlete. So.
Get big in MMA. There's only one place you can find fortune, fame, and legacy.
This is what they are willing to do inside the octagon to wear UFC gold. This is the greatest moment of your fighting career.
In 2022, the UFC recorded a new high of $387 million in profit.
I'm coming for the money, you piece of shit.
Whilst cutting fighter pay by $32.8 million.
I drive Uber. I
Fighter pay by $32.8 million.
Company gonna pay each fighter $55,000.
I drive Uber. I make some jiu-jitsu tournament to help.
So, what did fighters do about it?
Jiu-jitsu tournament to help.
So, what did fighters do about it? A class action lawsuit provided not only valuable insight into the UFC's finances, but an opportunity for its athletes to valuable insight into the UFC's finances, but an opportunity for its athletes to change the dynamics between the two forever. But as you'll come to learn over the course of this video, the UFC always wins.
You don't like the way we pay our fighters? Too bad.
When under the ownership of Zuffa, the UFC operated as a private company, shrouding much of its financial dealings in secrecy. Yet, with new ownership in place, and amidst a class action lawsuit, this information now became public.
But the debate is over. We have court documents year over year over year with express intent written in language by UFC to say we want to keep it at roughly 20%.
According to the lawsuit, the UFC holds roughly a 90% share of both domestic and international market space in MMA. This gives them incredible control over the wages within that market, as it limits the potential growth of any new promotion. In 2019, another lawsuit showed that even if Bellator paid all of its revenue out in fighter pay, they could only pay half of the average UFC wage. Meanwhile, wages only account for around 20% of the UFC's expenditure, making it impossible to compete against them.
Hey, give me some of those blue.
They're making a knock. Yo, what the hell is it when? So today when Mike Tyson is fighting.
Free cupcakes that I love. And tell my stockbroker to send some funds to my money.
To further the gap between the UFC and other promotions, Dana counter-programmed. When Affliction hosted its first pay-per-view, Dana set up champion Anderson Silva to knock out James Irvin on free TV to kill Affliction's numbers.
The UFC didn't like that we got in the MMA business. We actually were not looking to compete with them. We were just looking to sell some t-shirts and everything was going smoothly until it turned about competition, and then things kind of unraveled. We're now up against a shark and we're a goldfish.
Today, the UFC owns 88% of the world's top 10 fighters across all divisions and 74% of the top 25, making it impossible for someone to find the competition needed to be ranked #1 without signing to the UFC. Dana said it himself. Anyone who thought they could compete were stupid.
You know what we should do? We should go get a couple of their drivers, and let's start our own race league, and we'll compete with NASCAR. Anybody want to jump in with me? Hell no, you don't. Sounds like the stupidest idea ever. But people think they can do it with the UFC.
If a promotion got too big, Dana bought them. If he couldn't buy them, he bought their talent. And if he couldn't buy their talent, he used his platform to rapidly devalue them.
Then I'm hearing just stupidness that the reason he went to ONE FC is because he heard that I wanted him to go to World Series of Fighting. I don't give a where he goes. And then went on to beat Fabricio Verdum.
Lost to Verdum.
I mean, lost to Verdum, lost to Silva, and lost to Dan Henderson. You know, coming on my Twitter and saying, "Oh, you disrespect the greatest fighter of all." Listen, you guys have been living the myth too long.
To understand the situation UFC fighters find themselves in today, we need to examine the experience of boxers decades ago and the infamous dealings of Don King.
Hey, Don, why'd you rob Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali like Barack Obama robbed us?
Because I love them. I love them, and I thought it was just so nice that they would give me an opportunity for me to make them rich so that I could rob them, because they were poor when they came to me and there was nothing to rob.
Amongst the many shady business dealings of Don King was the control he enacted over title belts, both as a promoter and manager. Should one of his fighters become champion, King insisted any fighter to fight his champion must first sign under his management, effectively giving him promotional rights to any future world title in that division. This suppressed boxers' salaries and forced them into coercive contracts that gave most of their money to King.
My black brother, right? He's just a bad man. He's a real bad man. He abused you, and he would throw you. He would kill his mother for $1.
To end this,
he would kill his mother for $1.
To end this, the Ali Act was passed, separating world titles and promoters by law, meaning world titles were now independent organizations, such as the WBO and WBA. In theory, fighters can climb the ranks of these organizations to become mandatory contenders, and then promoters bid on who puts on the fight.
The revenue is theirs. It's not mine. I provide a service. I shouldn't own the revenue that Anthony Joshua brings to a fight. Why should I?
As a new and separate sport, MMA doesn't fall under these same restrictions, meaning they can both own the world title and have exclusive rights to any fighter on the roster. Dana White even used to manage fighters like Tito Ortiz, but no longer does due to the blatant conflict of interest. Yet Dana does develop relationships with other managers and promoters to act as brokers for him when signing new talent.
And nobody ever wants to look at themselves as a feeder league to the UFC. Deal with it. You're all feeder leagues to the UFC, okay?
Take Cage Warriors president and owner Graham Boylan as an example. Boylan not only owns a promotion distributing its own titles, he manages fighters within that promotion as well. And unremarkably, fighters Boylan manage often become Cage Warriors champions and are then marketed as such once signed to the UFC. One might assume this relationship between Boylan and the UFC would at least benefit the fighter. However, even big names under Boylan, like Paddy Pimblett, still only sign for a minimum $12,000 to show, $12,000 to win contract. So, why do fighters even bother signing to managers at all?
They're like, oh, this UFC wants Sean O'Malley, I'm going to go to his management, and then their management takes 20%, 15%, whatever, just to tell me about the deal. Not to do anything, just to say, hey, UFC called, you want to do this deal? I'm like, sure.
If a fighter's from the UK, their best chance of the UFC noticing them is to sign with Cage Warriors. In fact, over 95% of all British fighters currently in the UFC were once signed with Cage Warriors. And what's the best way to get into Cage Warriors and fight for a title? To have its president, Graham Boylan, as your manager.
Well, the other...
Basically like a triangle, so like it's like kind of like you get a manager from there. Oh, I'm hearing you get a manager from there. After he boosts, because you're a manager, he lets you fight for him. His thing. Then another person comes in, maybe connected to him, to boost you in there. It's just like, you know, the what's it called, bowling ball. How it has to.
Part is the manager ends up acting like a gatekeeper to the UFC, where the matchmakers then look to the manager like, you know, show me what you got.
In return for signing new talent on inexpensive contracts, Dana White and the UFC stream Cage Warriors events on Fight Pass and promote the feeder organization on their Instagram page, thus growing Cage Warriors' popularity and revenue, making it a much more successful business venture for Graham, whilst not doing something as blatant as cutting him a check for all the fighters they sign on a large discount.
For example, in the sport of boxing, you cannot be a manager and promoter. You can't. And that's the issue that I brought up last week with Graham Boylan, who's managing all these fighters, signs them to Cage Warriors, signs them to his management team, and then funnels them to the UFC.
However, it's not just Cage Warriors and the UK trapped in the UFC chokehold. Many countries will have a similar dynamic, with one main regional show acting as their pipeline to the UFC.
Hey, give me some of those gluten-free cupcakes.
You see this? It's like my second time getting this ad. It's the same one.
That I love. And tell my stockbroker to send.
But what are the arguments in favor of the UFC? After all, fighters still make more than the average person, and they only fight a couple of times a year, right? So, here's what a UFC fighter earns versus the average US citizen. However, it's important to remember earns versus the average US citizen.
Yeah, 70K. Just the average US citizen. 60K plus tax. That's the thing. 60K.
However, it's important to remember that fighters incur the same costs as everyone else, but also pay for coaches, sparring partners, nutritionists, physical therapists, and other costs of being a professional athlete. And reports by sports regulatory lawyer Eric McGracken showed that the average UFC career lasted between 31 to 41 months. And since there's no UFC pension scheme, their purse has to last them not just that year, but the rest of their lives.
That is one thing I would say to my husband. Like, everyone loves you when you're in the ring or the octagon and you're fighting, but are any of those people going to be there for you or thinking of you at all? Second of the day when you're 90 and you're still dealing with everything that you've done.
But what about all the promotional push fighters get? Alex Pereira's career got a massive push, going from debutante to champion in just 12 months. In just 12 months, his career got a massive. But what about all the promotional push fighters get? Alex Pereira's career got a massive push, going from debut.
Alex Pereira? Bro, niggas be glazing this guy, bro. He low-key won, but like he lost to Khabib. He lost to Khabib.
Debutante to champion in just 12 months. Whilst this boost is true for some athletes, many go on long win streaks only to never receive the opportunity to earn a title. Not only is the amount of push individual fighters receive wildly different, but it can be difficult to see how some media days could be defined as promotion at all.
So imagine that. You're killing it. You're just destroying everybody in the division. And next thing you know, the CEO or the boss who goes, I'm going to get rid of that division because it's not bringing any money.
But is all of this taking into account bonuses? I mean, we've all heard about locker room bonuses given out to fighters behind the scenes for good performances, haven't we?
You got performance of the night.
Did you? You got performance of the night.
You got fight of the night.
No way.
I swear to God.
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious, bro. You got 50 G's. I swear to God.
Are you lying?
No, I swear to God.
What?
Well, the 20% wage payout exposed by the antitrust lawsuit actually includes many of these bonuses, and fighters argue that the bonuses don't even cover what they should be getting in the first place.
The company is
Like health benefits and stuff.
growing, and they're implementing other little stupid ass bonuses. $5,000 here, $5,000 there, $50,000, man. We've been stuck on this for 20 years.
Despite this, don't the fighters at the top earn a lot of money? Why should a preliminary fighter nobody's heard of make more money than he brings in? Well, the UFC's distribution deal with ESPN means that they have to host a certain number of events every year. These events must include plenty of fights to allow enough time for advertisements. This means they have to include smaller fights throughout the night.
What's the worth of a fighter? An individual fighter has almost no worth usually because they're very interchangeable. But altogether, we know their value. It's at least $300 million for ESPN.
Either you're on the broadcast and we're selling ads against it, or you're not, and that's just the difference.
Hey, give me some of those gluten-free cupcakes that.
Look, this is the third time I've gone on this ad, bro.
I love. And tell my stock for.
But if UFC fighters are so upset about pay, why don't they fight or wait out the rest of their contract and go somewhere else? Even if the promotions had the means to pay the average fighter more, UFC contracts make it very hard to leave.
These contracts allow the UFC to add tolling provisions, such as extending the contract duration 6 months if a fighter turns down or can't accept a fight. It allows them to freeze the contract in perpetuity in case of retirement or injury.
Not only does the average contract last longer than the average career, the UFC also has a year to match any offer made on a fighter once the contract ends. All these make leaving the UFC not only financially difficult, but detrimental to one's athletic window for competition. So, when it was announced that not only were the fighters successful in launching a class action lawsuit against the UFC, but the judge was publicly expressing his support in their favor, hope was on the horizon. The fighters were on the brink of changing not only the UFC, but the landscape of MMA forever. But then, that all came to a screeching halt.
The UFC and the plaintiffs, a group of fighters in a class action lawsuit, have settled, yes.
In March 2024, the fighters and their representatives agreed to a settlement of $335 million.
The settlement agreement provides for a cash payment totaling $335 million into a UFC settlement fund.
Although this is a lot of money, it pales in comparison to the $4.5 billion they could have received had they gone to court.
But what I would say is this is a dark, dark, dark day.
You could have like probably maybe like half of that. Not half. 30%.
For the entire sport. And in particular, its most vulnerable participants.
The reason this sum isn't a massive win for the fighters is because they had the chance to change everything. And once the settlement
How the fuck had the chance? So niggas got greedy and decided to just take what they got. That's like bribery. And nigga, oh my lord, bro, could have had 4.5 billion if you didn't take 3. Okay, so that's like me giving you. Maybe they didn't know. They could have. No. I'll hand you. It's just like the quote. It's just like is it a quote? It's more like it's not a video. Giovanni, you listen. Would you rather take 3.5? No, 350 million right now, or get $5 billion in the next 2 years. Why do you say that?
Settlement money is shared, many will find their share underwhelming, considering what was at stake.
There are roughly 1,200 fighters who could have gotten money. It ends up, some will get more than others, but it averages out to about $280,000 per fighter, minus 30% all the way around.
Calculate. In fact, another easy way is to combine all your income you made during the league period as a fighter and take around 23% of that. That should be how much your compensation for that tranche will be.
Aside from the payout and a few temporary contract amendments that only needed adhering to for the next 5 years, the UFC got away with closing off its doors for future settlements.
You have to sign away the opportunity to join any future class action lawsuit. If there is no union that's established, or there is no Ali Act that gets ends up getting extended to MMA from boxing, fighter pay is just going to be what it's going to be for the foreseeable future. Without regulatory intervention in a very, relatively speaking, unregulated space that is mixed martial arts, it is not possible to compete with the UFC. They have reached monopoly status times a billion. They cannot be touched. It's not possible to compete with them.
It appears that the UFC is incredibly close to pulling off the bargain of the century, monopoly and monopsony, over the fastest growing sport in the world.
So Dana White, the person who created the UFC,
for $335 million. So why did the fighters agree? Well, technically, they could have lost the case and received nothing. Although with such a publicly outspoken judge supporting them, it seems they saw a modest payday and lost scope of the bigger picture. But can we blame them? These are people who have been underpaid their whole lives, had opportunities taken away at the last minute, and sold lie after lie after lie by the UFC. Perhaps the idea of finally triumphing over them just felt too good to be true. It's blatantly obvious, thanks to the information released by this lawsuit, that the fighters are getting financially screwed.
We would not know that information and in the coherent way that we understand it, were it not for the advancement of that lawsuit. And I've said this last week, the debate has gone from, oh, well, they definitely don't pay them that little, to, okay, they pay them that little, and that's actually just fine.
People can argue that they like or don't care about this fact, but this can be brushed aside as ignorance or maliciousness. The UFC has perfected the practice of stifling real journalists from covering the sport, and this means fans are rarely aware of the scope and nuance of the issue.
But it's predominantly UFC kicking out, removing credentials, and being absolutely hostile to media that does not just do straight up PR for them.
However, there's still a glimmer of hope that legal intervention can force the UFC to pay a higher percentage of revenue to the roster. But that's all it is, a glimmer. With fighters fractured, journalism dead, and the market fenced off, the UFC House of Cards is unlikely to come tumbling down anytime soon.
Use the volume, okay. They could have lost, but the judge was on their side, so there's a low chance of them losing. Did they know that? I don't know if they did. They did? This got greedy, bro. Everyone could have benefited. They hired $4.5 billion. All that for nothing. Like, all that for nothing, bro. $4.5 billion. That's sad. Yeah, give. Yeah. God damn, bro. What the hell?
Struggle so bad you had to eat a mustard sandwich?
Broke ass niggas.
This is a question a nigga dead ass asked me the other day. For some reason, some niggas like to flex they struggle like I'm supposed to care. And then they be saying the most outlandish shit. Motherfuckers would be like, I used to eat salt and mouse traps for dinner. You ain't never struggle like me. Nigga, what? You think it can't get no crazier than that. But then the nigga come out of nowhere talking about, stop bitching. I used to sleep on the ceiling and use milk as a blanket. Like, nigga, stop capping. And this is just one example of being black in America. One thing I did struggle with as a kid, getting my ass whooped. I have a twin sister who, in my mom's eyes, could do no wrong. But let me even breathe wrong. Like, all I had to do was blink the wrong way. And here comes the bell like I just won a championship. One time she was about to beat me, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm going. I ran out the door like the house is haunted. But here's the thing. My mom used to run track, so I'm thinking I'm all
GG's. He has to send that shit into hide and seek. If he gets caught, gets whooped. Or act like a ninja. Hide. After when you hear that she's not in there, sneak outside. She's not gonna know.
good, thinking shit sweet. I look back, this fucking 40-year-old woman behind me moving like Tyreek Hill. I remember running to this factory nearby, begging the workers to save me. They ain't do shit. Like, you don't see Kratos behind me, bitch? Niggas just stood and watched like they had a front row seat to my execution. They probably had a parlay on my ass, talking about I got 500G pissed itself in the next 20 seconds. Like, bitch, help, I'm getting baked. And because I ran, man, that shit was legendary. You can still hear my cheese getting clapped. But so far, I've only given back. Iran? Man, that shit was legendary. You can still hear my cheese getting clapped. But so far, I've only given bad examples. There's good things about being black too. Like the fact that there's people who put their blood, sweat, and tears into the gym every day just to have a worse physique than me. But then again, I'm 21 and I don't know where my hairline is. I think somebody stole that shit. Yeah, just ripped it clean off my noggin.
Where's he put the KSI there, bro? Mega mild ass nigga, bro. Damn, bro. Nigga can see your future.
That shit was smooth too. They ain't even leaving these scars. Just more forehead. Got me looking like granddad from the Boondocks. And speaking of the Boondocks, that shit was lit.
Nobody likes you, Huey, cause you a gay.
The Boondocks was this anime tailored to black people, and they did not hold back. One episode they be trapping candy like it's literal crack. The next episode they playing the Chinese government in a life or death game of kickball. That shit would not slide in today's society. They had this show canceled faster than my mom chasing me. I honestly have no idea how it's.
What happened to it? Oh, I thought you just ended it. Got the last episode. They just cancel. Who cancels shows? Just the. It's probably like when they make no money. That's when they cancel it. I don't fucking know, bro. I have no idea. Who lost to Loki Peak? It was just like chicken to people. Go.
Allowed to watch this shit at a young age, but I didn't care. My nigga Huey would educate me on the political and economical state of the world and then go catch bodies. Nigga was 10 years old and more than LeBron.
And nigga always had the katana. This nigga was like Batman with his weapons, bro. He just pulled that shit. Afro Samurai. That's the guy.
And Riley was the original.
Nigga was the trapper, bro.
Young nigga. Motherfuckers trying to wax Santa.
Oh, the YN. It's the YN versus. And just a regular athletic black man. Basically what trying to say.
Because he was on a naughty list and didn't get a prison. Like, little bro, you don't deserve shit. That's why you got your ass beat more than I did. This show was genuinely unmatched. They was playing with racism like how my ex played me.
Can a nigga borrow a french fry?
And speaking of racism, unlike other races, black people have no tolerance for disrespect. Like, whenever I see another race walk away from an altercation, I'm like,
Nigga, see, they're moving past the nigga moment. They're not trying to. I swear, Boondocks, she said, oh shit. Let me play it real quick. Let's go. How Boondocks the shit, bro. The nigga moment. How to. Boondocks. A nigga moment.
Watch where you walking, nigga. Hey, what you say, nigga?
Watch closely. You're about to experience a nigga moment. Webster defines the nigga moment as a moment when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical Negro male.
What did you say, bitch, nigga? Hey, squeeze it, nigga.
Causing him to act in an illogical, self-destructive manner, i.e., like a nigga. Nigga moments are unpredictable.
Hey, wait, man, wait. This is stupid. Hey, you right, dawg. Look, let's put the guns away and go on about our business. Freeze!
But they all end up bad. If they had their own category, nigga moments would be the third leading killer of black men behind pork chops and FEMA. It's a fact. Now let's see how a nigga moment affects a white man.
Prick. Watch where you walking, bitch.
What did you... Wait a minute. I'm white.
Where you going? Don't you ignore me. This is a perfectly good moment to throw your life away.
Yo, see, that's low-key accurate. Shit.
How the fuck he do that? All it takes is for a nigga to look at me the wrong way, and I'm ready to eliminate his whole bloodline. One time in 6th grade, there was this big ass kid, and I'm not capping, bro was dead ass like 6'4", 250. They must have been feeding this nigga mousetraps and sensu beans, cause ain't no way bro could play O-line in the NFL at the ripe age of 12. But one time, this nigga took it upon himself to slap the shit out of me while I had my head down in class. Being the crash out I was, I'm like, who the fuck did that? I gotta punish him immediately. Confidently, this nigga said me. What you gonna do about it? Bro, I'm salty as fuck, cause out of all the people to slap my ass, it was this Mark Henry looking ass nigga. But the black in me would not let that shit slide. He has tarnished my legacy. So I stand on top of my desk to level the playing field, and I start throwing haymakers. I didn't even care that my punches probably felt like squeaky toys. I kept swinging. Security had to pull me off him and carry me out the class like I won. But after the adrenaline wore off, I couldn't move my neck. Nigga paralyzed me. Nonetheless, I stood on business, even though I knew I was going to get my ass beat. And that's what we call a fucking dumbass. Any other race would have had this nigga indicted faster than Draymond Green getting ejected. But I got my neck broken for some street cred. Pause. On a related note, I personally never experienced racism as a kid. I grew up in a predominantly black area, so I was just chilling with my niggas. And by chilling with my niggas, I mean getting in fights every day and losing. But like my mom used to say,
I'm about to smack the shit out this nigga.
Damn, she was cold with the belt. Anyways, it wasn't until I got older that I found myself in the face of racism for the first time. And you know that meme where it's like, when you skip all the side quests and go straight to the boss battle? That's
real shit, bro.
First time. And you know that meme where it's like, when you skip all the
27 KOs, that's like almost more than half of his thing. Logan just lost the fight. Mayweather low-key just let Logan slide. Logan did not win that. He got his shit robbed.
Side quest and go straight to the boss battle. That's exactly what I did. Because I skipped all the simple low-level shit, and bro, I found myself stranded in a sundown town. And of course,
goddamn niggas. Don't, why you, oh my god. They got they all got shotguns, that's the thing. Everyone in that town definitely got shotguns. They don't like them. One of them, those goddamn criminals. You know what we talking about? Goddamn criminals, fucking thugs, porous monkeys, baboons, Jacoboo monkeys, gorillas, the mountain apes, them bridge Kool-Aid licking, watermelon licking individuals. If you know what we talking about.
it was at night.
I'm about to smack.
If you don't know what a sundown town is, it's basically a place where if your ass is black like mine, you don't go there. Especially at night. So I know you're wondering, how the fuck
These niggas are gonna shoot you and say, oh, I thought it was a dog.
fuck do you even end up in this situation?
You knock on the door. Who's there? Who's there? Oh, it's boom. That's all you're gonna hear. Boom. You can be laying on the floor with your chest open with a
Well, it was over a year ago. I was on an 8-hour drive to go visit some family when I started running low on gas. I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere, so I'm like, bet, I'll take the next exit. My nigga, I didn't see another exit for like 30 fucking miles. By the time one finally came up, my tank was on E. So now I'm racing to the nearest gas station, cause I know at any moment, this shit finna stop. I didn't pay much attention while I was driving, but something about this place seemed different. Nonetheless, I kept it pushing. Finally, I see this old ass looking gas station in the distance. I get right across the street and guess what my car does? Betray me! Luckily, I keep that thing on me. A gas can. So I happily walk my way over to this dingy looking gas station, and bro, it was so many flies surrounding the pump. So now I'm walking back to my car and I noticed something. Not a single sound could be heard. But I shrugged it off.
Yo, this how niggas get murdered, bro. Why are you looking at me?
Oh, filled up my tank and tried to start the car. Bro.
That shit did not start. Yo, This nigga put in fucking bacteria looking at fuel, bro. That shit was not fuel. These niggas mixed that shit with piss.
I turned the key. Nothing happened. So now I'm tweaking because why is my vehicle not cutting on? I gassed it up like the trash ass song your homeboy show you when he say y'all making it out. Nigga, we are stuck here. I didn't know much about cars at this point, so I decided I'd find someone who did. Bitch, I didn't see another human being for 45 minutes. Finally, after what felt like forever, a vehicle spawned in the distance. So I get my ass in the middle of the road. Guess what these niggas did when they came
probably drove fast.
up to me? They ignored me! Niggas passed me like Ben Simmons with an open layup. I should've pulled out an RPG and blew their ass up. But now I'm uncomfortable because I couldn't understand how they could just disregard a person obviously in need of help. So about 15 minutes later, another car spawned in. They did the same shit! And then that's when it hit me. I'm black. And when the next few vehicles ignored me like my dad in my childhood, I knew I was cooked. Eventually, I got my car to start and made it out of there unscathed. Funny thing is, I didn't even know I was in a sundown town until months later. Them niggas knew not to fuck with me though. Let them with it try some shit. I was itching to up-pole on them. And by up-pole, I mean run for my fucking life.
Fucking little bitch!
Now, obviously, there is more to being black in America than what I covered. But I don't want to get political or talk about stereotypes. I'm just giving y'all my personal experience of being an African American in the USA. Even though I'm in Korea right now. But for all my niggas holding it down, let us know some funny shit down in the comments below. Shit, even if you're not black, share some funny things that happen in your culture. I hope everyone is doing well. And if you're not, did you wash your butt? Also,
being black in Korea, as a black ladies in Korea, getting no niggas, bro. Goddamn, bro. Oh shit, a nigga watch this. Yo. Some nigga clicked on that. Yo, what the hell? What did I just see?
unlike North Korea, South Korea is a very peaceful, low crime
shit. I thought you would know. Just give me. Shit, that was L shit, bro. This is what's his name? Logan Paul knocks out Mike Tyson. It isn't even there yet, bro. It hasn't. It's today. These guys did not. I called bets on Logan Paul. He probably paid Mike Tyson to lose. That's the thing. Well, I'm thinking he paid him to lose, and Logan Paul's winning that.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN.
Welcome, folks, to the biggest boxing event of the year. Where the
What the hell is this? Yo, this is me. This is not made by Me Canyon. Me Canyon does this shit, but like, yo.
The only way we can get anyone to watch our dying sport is to pit the world's most hated YouTuber against the shambling and upsetting corpse of Iron Mike Tyson. There's Jake Paul, who promises to donate his proceeds to support his brother's crippling Pokemon card addiction. And there's the man himself, Iron Mike Tyson. You can tell he's been training hard for this fight. He's in peak physical condition.
Oh man, it's the GOAT! What a legend! Hope you're ready to die. I'm a bathe in your fucking blood, Logan. Look at Grandpa go. Just joking. My man's still the GOAT for real, for real. Respect. Let's make it look convincing.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, Mike lands a clean hit on Jake, and it looks like...
See, look, let's make it look like they paid him. Paid him a lot of money to let him slide.
Get hurt! Let's see how Jake responds. Oh, Jake's hairline...
Isn't this prize fighter? So this prize fighter, the first one. Boom, KO.
Oh, Jake's hairline did not like that.
Fuck, what the fuck?
I did not like that.
Yo, what the fuck did I just say?
I'm gonna bite your fucking dick off, Logan.
What's he doing now?
No, stop it, Mike! This wasn't in the script! Come on, let me at that little mushroom tip.
Is Mike Tyson trying to bite off Jake Paul's dick? The ref's not gonna like that.
Oh, thank God! Get him off me!
Oh no! The ref is incapacitated! Now anything goes!
Just you and me now, Logan. No rules. No one to save you.
Jake! Logan's my brother! My God! It's Jake's brother! WWE superstar and piece of shit Logan Paul!
I got you, bro! No, my dick, Mike, please! Was that convincing enough for you, Logan? Yeah, perfect. Okay, now go ahead. Oh, no. Ah, it hurts. Ouchie.
He did it! He actually did it! Jake Paul is your winner!
I may have defeated Mike Tyson, but there's still one more boxing legend I have on my hit list.
You're a man! And that means you protect yourself at all times. So why let the internet be any different? Whether it's the government, NordVPN is the answer. I like to travel. Content. Click the link in the description to get an exclusive Nord.
Hey yo, bro. It's Loki Talk. Logan Paul versus Jake Paul. No, Logan Paul versus what's his name? Sing. check something real quick. That was actually weird, bro.
Now, the other day I made a video about
Boom. Headshot. That's not even hair. Oh shit. I'm ready. Her friend's gone. Transition was actually crazy. Arcane. I have no idea what that is. Boom. She's not hitting it.
about life and Scar.
Just like, oh, what's it called? The Spider-Man. Or Gear. G-E-R. Boom. Hit. You go. Why are they doing that? Because I think he broke it. There's a last episode. I think they're gonna get magic because there was like, I think one of them went to the future and it was like magicians with that. Drop your finger, no. Fuck. GG. Damn. Head tap. Oh. Traitor. That's what she's gonna say. Ew. Oh, she's blowing up the plate. The fuck is that? The water's gonna probably fly out. Shit, bro. Oh, you say, bro.